Wonderful. So here we are now. So you are viewers, listeners. This is where we introduce our wonderful guest, and she's none other than, I want to say, public relations specialist. Listen, you gotta put so much titles onto there, and it's so deserving. It is so. None of the titles that you attach to Tenille is too much because this woman works. She works for all of her achievement. You can see the work. There's no telling. Anybody wants to hold a grudge when it comes to that young lady and her achievement, you're bad mind. Simply put, Tenille, welcome, darling. Welcome. What an honor.
Thank you so
What an
much. Good
honor.
morning
Oh,
to the
gosh.
beautiful island of St. Lucia,
Oh,
the Helen
gosh.
of the West Indies. I love you
Girl.
guys so much.
Listen, we need some more of your presence here. I mean, we know you start a little thing with Tennyson John, but you know what? You need to get a little more present on the island here because, listen, we can do with some of your expertise. Well, I'm probably talking for myself, but you know, it's quite an honor, Neil. To have had you say yes to wrap up our She Speaks show because this program was designed with the aim of inspiring, not just inspiring, but inspiring through persons within our very sphere. Within the Caribbean, we have so much persons who are creating, making waves, and it's adding such value to the world. And sometimes we stop short and just highlight. We see the leaders, the top leaders, so we hear about these, and and sometimes there's people who are doing it, and we fail to recognize. So this program was designed, to just tap into those little spots and pull them out and say, hey, this person is doing really well, and people can actually look and say, "Well, this is a little girl like me from Trinidad, there, and she's doing it, so it's possible." And that is why the program was created. And you know what? It is quite an honor, to bring you to our viewers and listeners and to share you with them because you fit into that bill so perfectly. So
Thank you.
we are going to start off. I ain't give you time to talk yet. Wait, I'm going to go talk just. You can tell I'm excited, right? Exactly. I am totally excited. And you know that. You know how excited I am when it comes to you. I'm very impressed. But you know what? For persons who may not know, we'll give you the opportunity right now to tap down a little bit and tell us a little bit about Tenille, the little girl, the little 65-year-old Tenille, what was it like? Where were you born? What was growing up like? What was some of the things that happened within your household? Some of the principles that grounded you to the person that you are today.
So, for those who don't know, my name is Tenille Clarke, and well, today I'm a publicist, a writer, and a social impact executive. But little Tenille was born and raised in East Dry River, Port of Spain, which is at the foot of the hills of Laventille. And I mean, Laventille does not have the best regional representation. I wouldn't say image, I say representation because a lot of magic is born in Laventille. If you look at people like Roy Cape
Yeah.
and these kinds of stalwart cultural Caribbean figures, they were all born in that East Dry River, Laventille area. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was raised by my mom's sister. My mom has lived in Canada for the last, I would say, 33 years thereabouts. So I was raised by my aunt. Her name is Heather. And I attended primary school, I attended secondary school. My dad played a significant role in the person that I am today, the businesswoman that I am today, as he also was a businessman. And when I was 18 years old, I migrated to Canada. I went to York University in Toronto. And I would say, with regards to the values that were instilled in me, I was always taught that nothing was outside of my reach. It's actually
Mm.
one of my favorite sayings to this day. So, and I know it sounds cliche to most, but you have to understand that dreaming beyond your environmental circumstances, having grown up in a community like Laventille that is showed so much disdain and negativity, you have to be able to hold on to that self belief that you can dream beyond your environmental circumstances. So when I tell you nothing is outside of my reach, to this day, whatever people see me accomplish, it's because of that mantra.
Oh gosh, certainly nothing, absolutely nothing outside of the reach for real. And well, that's for that. That is for that. And migrating into Canada. Did you always know where this path was going to take you? Did you have when you were thinking about career paths? What was on the forefront of your thoughts?
So, in my formative years, I would definitely say that storytelling formed some form of fashion of the way that I was able to kind of create the idea of the life that I wanted. Even as a teenager attending Bishop Anstey High School, I excelled in English literature, I excelled in French and Spanish, which I do
Wow.
speak in limited capacities to this day. A little bit. Don't ask me to talk it now,
Well,
because
Aki,
I'm
I even go there
still.
with you because I wouldn't understand if you're talking to me right.
So those kind of storytelling subjects, the English literature, the French, the Spanish, that really, really kind of translated to when I went into university. My first year of university, I actually did Spanish as a minor, but my major was in the humanities.
Ah.
And while it was to the complete and total mortification of my family that I chose such a broad area, I thought that the humanities gave me the opportunity to learn a little bit of everything. But the most important thing I think that degree afforded me was the opportunity to get into the habit of research and
Ah.
reading. I am a continuous learner. I'm a student to the game. And I think that that decision really, really anchored me into the kind of professional that I am today.
Right. Well, we fast forwarding because there's so much that happens from then till now. So we've got to
Yeah,
fast forward. We only have half an hour. Let's fast forward to where we are today and what most people now get to see. A lot of people now get to see you are now the managing director and the principal publicist at your own company, which is
yeah,
Chambers Media Solution. And of course, this is award winning again. Through that means you've collected quite a number of awards, not just within the immediate region, but you continue to garner and gain the respect globally. So let's talk
yes.
about where you are today. After all of that happened, got into your own business and you started to make your pitch and start. What was the first big connect for you when people started to say, "All right, this young lady right here, this is the way we need to go."
I have a tendency to hold on to professional memories that really, really shaped me. And I will say that when I moved back from Canada and after I quit my last first time job and I made the decision to start my own agency, one of the first clients that really, really believed in me was Blacks.
Ah.
Because he saw where I wanted to go creatively. He trusted my vision, but also because Blacks grew up in both a very rural community and he also grew up in Laventille, he saw that magic. I think
Right.
Dr. Roy Cape as well also saw that magic as well as somebody from that community as well. So he was one of the persons that I think had a significant impact in me really and truly believing in the limitless potential culturally of our region. And it was a great honor to be able to work with B for the 5 years that I represented him as his publicist. And I think one of the other defining moments of my career was when I became the publicist for the One Heart Festival that headlined Chronics. I think that that was a major, major trajectory in my career because people understood that Caribbean storytelling was not just for Caribbean people. It was for
Right.
everybody at all ages, at all ranks, regardless of what professional capacity you came from. I think that that year, that was in 2017, I believe, it became one of the most significant and poignant professional moves for me. And that in itself blossomed into new relationships because that was the way I was able to meet Hector Roots Lewis, who to this day is a client of mine. And everybody may know Hector now as the man that acted as Carly Barrett in the award winning Bob Marley One Love film, which is now
Absolutely.
on Netflix. Shameless.
Absolutely.
But
Oh gosh,
yeah,
listen,
so
listen, and this is just a tip of the iceberg because you're now gone on to do so many work with so many people. Your company has been doing publication works and writing up stories for so many top celebrities all across the world. I mean, you've done work for. Come on, give us some of
so
it.
outside of me being a publicist, I'm also a writer. So there are three parts of Tenille or Ten,
Right?
as people like to call
Yeah,
me. There's
Tan.
scientist,
Yes, and
there's
then the
10
set.
writer, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's 10 the social impact executive. So as a writer, I've had the great fortune of interviewing people like Chloe and Halle. I've interviewed Halle Bailey twice. The second time was for when she acted as the lead, the protagonist role in the Little Mermaid
Amazing.
film. I had the great fortune of being able to attend that premiere in Hollywood last year. I've interviewed Issa Rae. I've interviewed Miss Tina Knowles, who everyone knows is Beyonce's
Uh-huh.
mother. I've also interviewed Erica Badu. Erica and her team actually invited me to Indonesia earlier this year to
Wow.
attend a meditation festival that she does in collaboration with Desa Potato Head Hotel. I was there for almost a week. I wrote that
Oh.
story for Essence magazine. So I've really, really, and I have, I mean, a buzzing this breaking news here, but I'm not going to say who it is. But I have one more story to drop that is going to be coming out before 2024 is over with a major, major celebrity that everybody knows and loves.
Oh
I'm
my
not going to say any
God.
more than that,
I,
but
we're gonna wait for it. We're gonna wait for
please.
it. We are definitely gonna wait for it. Writing for Essence, you've written for Forbes. You've so many of the big publications actually feature your work. Let's talk about connecting and being able to feature in these sort of prominent world literature that
Yes.
gives the opportunity for a Caribbean girl to. This is big, you know. This is
Yeah.
huge, Tenille, because
When you
you know
say it, it's
yeah,
yeah.
it's huge because
It doesn't
you know,
register all the
no,
time.
it is huge because you know what? We are here in the little islands and we're trying to tap on these doors for so long. Now, if we have our own storyteller who gets to feature in these places and is so passionate about the culture herself, because it's one thing to have a publicist or have a writer that gets to contribute on this level, but when we have somebody who we know and can count on to be Caribbean and be deliberate about ensuring that Caribbean story is told the Caribbean way. This is really, really vital for us as a people. So this is why I am so into what it is that you very vital to us as a people.
Thank you so much. I mean, I've had the great fortune of writing for Forbes, for Essence magazine, Teen Vogue, British Vogue, um, Anscape for ESPN, and most recently, I became a contributing travel writer for Lonely Planet. As you would have seen in the media, Trinidad and Tobago was named one of the 30 best in travel locations for 2025. That was because of a nomination that I put forward to the editing
Wow.
board, and they ended up selecting us not only as one in 30, but one in 10 of the countries because it was separated into three categories: countries, cities, and regions. We were one of the 10 in the country category, and we were the only Caribbean country to be only Caribbean territory, as a matter of fact, to be featured on the list. It was among thousands of nominations. So I'm so incredibly grateful for those opportunities. But even when I don't get the opportunity to write, through my social impact executive work, and working with different organizations such as the Grenada Tourism Authority, I'm able to co-curate press trip experiences that center Caribbean culture because I want to not only be able to write Caribbean centered stories, but to also impart knowledge on other persons that are curious about the Caribbean region on how to responsibly tell our stories our way. So it's not just about me being able to write the stories and to champion the Caribbean cause, but it's also to invite persons into the Caribbean region, but to also responsibly document who we are and what we represent on a global scale.
Do you where is your headspace now? I'm segueing now because at least my listeners and viewers, they get the idea. They understand now that this is a powerhouse champion woman in that field. And we've worked with a lot of people. I want to get into your side of it now from your standpoint, Tenille. Understanding this pathway that has been created, and you being the transportation that was chosen for that's the only way I can see it, because I can't just wake up and decide I doing all that. It's just what it is. You're the transportation that's handpicked to be able to do that. How do you now fit into that role on a personal level now? How do you take all of this in? How do you prepare your person, yourself, your mindset with the role that has been laid upon you?
I will say this. After my dad passed away, it would be 4 years ago in June of 2025. I think something shifted in me in terms of understanding that there's a level of fearlessness and audacity that you have to be able to enter these spaces, not just as your own person, but as someone that truly and deeply believes in the magic of our region. So everywhere there's a lot of sacrifice behind the scenes that people may not necessarily be privy to. But when I do walk into those spaces, it is with the intention of making those spaces better than when I first meet it. And I believe that all Caribbean people have the magic in them to do that. It's not just me, it's something that is intrinsically invaluable to all of us as Caribbean people. So whether you're from St. Lucia or Antigua or St. Martin or Jamaica or Guyana or Belize, whether you're from the English, Spanish, French, or Dutch Caribbean region, we all have that magic. And that is ancestral magic. That is the magic and the power in understanding who
Who we
we
are.
are and what we are able to accomplish on a global scale. We've influenced so much globally in the pop culture space. If you listen to some of the musical sounds and the genres that have evolved over time, there is a Caribbean influence there that we have to not only help people to acknowledge, but we have to claim it as well. So when I
Absolutely.
go into those spaces, I claim the magic of our cultural essence and I'm unapologetic about it. Does
Absolutely.
it does it allow people to understand us better? Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. There are feelings along the way. Does it make people a little bit uncomfortable? Absolutely, it makes people uncomfortable. But there is no growth without change. You
Yeah.
can't afraid mask and play
You
powder.
can play. Yeah, you can play mass and trade powder. Absolutely not. That's the line right there.
You can't.
Tenille, you speak about challenges that people don't get to see. Like you said, right now it's glory, and everybody is seeing the glory, and people seeing
Yes.
Tenille collecting awards here, being featured in this. They're seeing that, seeing you with the Beyonce and the Knowles, and seeing you in these spaces, and somebody might be just running on that energy and not understand, think it's some gold spoon or something, and you just get to roll like that, and then sometimes comes the little, those little things. How do
Yeah.
you how do you deal with that? I'm going to ask that. That's like a two-part question. So I know you can talk, so you're going to talk. you know, how do you deal with these sort of things? I think I know how, but I want you to say it. How do you deal with your negative vibes? If there's any, do you even recognize them? And again, what would you say to persons who don't understand what it takes, some of the trial that you mentioned, some of the things that you have to undergo that people may not see, that is not all fun and games.
I focus on the goal. Some of the challenges, and I mean, I can be very transparent with that. When people see that I show up in spaces, it's not because my way is paid there. It's that I've made the sacrifice to ensure that I am able to show up in these spaces, to have the conversations that need to be had, so that the road can be carved. Like the road doesn't just appear. You
Yeah,
have to help to carve it. And sometimes you have to pay for the road to be carved yourself in order for other people to be able to benefit from it thereafter. In terms of the negativity, I do recognize it, but I have a tendency to highly focus on the community that consistently shows up for me. On my Facebook page, the post that is pinned right now is continue to build your tribe will come. And that has never been truer for me in the last 5 years, certainly within the last year or so, where people have been able to truly and genuinely show up in their allyship to get me where I need to be in order to do the necessary work that needs to be done. So when you're thinking about the editors like Alicia Johnson from Lonely Planet, who has no connection to the Caribbean region, but truly advocates for the work that needs to get done. When I think of editors like Caitlin McNabb, who's the culture editor at Teen Vogue, who is of Belizean heritage, and attends Grenada's Spice Mass Press Trip experience, which I curate with Melissa Noel, who is from Guyana. And we all kind of come together in that divine female energy magic. It really, really, you don't have time to focus on the negativity. I don't have time to focus on people that do not understand the work that I do, because there's so many other people that I know will benefit from the work that I do. So whether you think that my path is guided or not, whether you think my path is anointed or not, I am focused on making sure that other people's paths are anointed. And as it relates to, the advice that I would give to people, because I do mentor people, I have several mentees right now, as a matter of fact. I have mentees. I have a mentee that is in Nashville, Tennessee. Her boss reached out to me because she told her that, to make a list of the people that she would like to be mentored from, and me from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, an island of 1.3 million people in the Caribbean region that has about 10 million people thereabouts in it. I was at the top of her list for the work that it is that I was able to do. So when I speak to my mentees and they ask me, how do I continue to do it? It's about building your reputation so people do not mistake who you are as a person. Like,
Absolutely.
let your work and your worth become your person. That way, when you walk into rooms, you don't have to introduce yourself.
Absolutely. I totally agree. What are some of the other plans that you have? Because you've got a lot going on there, and you, like you said, you speak a lot about paving the way and cutting out that path. What are some of the things that you've got planned on the way? What would be an ultimate goal, if there is such a thing with you?
So the current plans right now under Industry 360, which is my second company, that's the social impact company, we're actually establishing a partnership with Shelley Worrell and Little Caribbean NYC. Everybody knows Little
Yeah.
Caribbean. That is that community in Brooklyn, New York, that is so rife with Caribbean cultural essence. So we have a plan to put in place a creative arts residency in 2025, where a couple of creative arts professionals from the Caribbean region will be able to spend 68 weeks in New York
Ooh.
City to be able to be inspired and influenced by their work. And at the end of their residency, their work will be displayed at Governor's Island,
Wow.
in New York City. I have a partnership through Industry 360 with CultureCon, which is the biggest summit and conference for Black creative professionals in the United States. That organization is helmed by Imani Ellis, who is a very dear friend of mine, who actually was in Grenada. I brought her to the Caribbean for her birthday about a month ago, and it was her first visit to the Caribbean, and it certainly won't be her last. But we have a partnership with CultureCon, where we execute the Caribbean Cultural Diplomats Experience, where we celebrate Caribbean professionals who operate at the highest level of excellence. This year, we were grateful to honor Felicia Noel, aka Faye Noel, who
Ooh.
is a celebrity designer par excellence. And it was just an incredible experience. We had everybody from different parts of the industry of Caribbean heritage. We had Nadeska Alexis, who is a famed podcaster with Apple Music. We had Yvette Noel Shaw, who
Yeah.
everybody knows as Beyonce's publicist. We had Javison from Grenada. We had people from Jamaica and people from St. Lucia. It was just such a beautiful and magical experience. And there are other things that are in the pipelines as well that I don't want to reveal just yet, but those are just two of the things that I am planning to work on and to continue to build on in 2025.
Absolutely. Tenille, you are amazing. We have about 3 minutes left, and I want to open up the floor for you. Anything you would like to leave, just from a woman standpoint, from a not just a woman, but a Caribbean colored woman standpoint. There's so many people out there who stop short, like you said, of them limitation in their mindset. I could be guilty at some point in time as well. So many of us that has a lot of potential that we are failing to tap into, and probably thinking it's not doable.
Yes.
from you doing it, and like you said, you're from around Laventille area there. You understand what I'm saying? So it is doable. It is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely doable, and the limitation is only in our mindset. What can you throw out for us, to help to encourage us, to help to probably, it might not touch everybody, but at least one
Mm-hmm.
person might get a little, something tweak, and that can make a difference.
I will never deny the degree of difficulty of being able to navigate these spaces as a dark skinned Black Caribbean woman. I will never deny that. It is a part of the journey that I have set on to make sure that the Caribbean is seen. And yes, there will be obstacles and there will be objections to the work that it is that you want to do, but you absolutely have to stay the course. For me, I always think of what would a 5-year-old 10 want to be able to see in the 10 of now? What would make it easier for her to be able to access these spaces and to cultivate these relationships and to build friendships and sisterhood and camaraderie in different places and spaces? But I promise you that there are people out there, like minded, passionate individuals that see the value of the work that you do because it is the work that they want to be able to do as well. So when I think of all of the allies and the alliances that I have in West Africa, namely Ghana and Nigeria, and in the United States, and in North America, and even right here at home in the Caribbean region, I am reminded and steeped in gratitude that I am able to do this work because there are other people out there that are doing similar bodies of work to make spaces better than when they first met it. So, despite the obstacles, despite the challenges, and there are many, because there are usually many more challenges and failures than there are of the broadcasting of the excellence and the wins and the championships. But just make sure to understand that you have to continue to build and your tribe will come. Focus on the task at hand and the people that see the value of your work and genuinely want to help you along the path, they will show.
Absolutely. Tenille Clarke, we applaud you. We
Thank you.
appreciate the work that you've done. We appreciate your tenacity, and we appreciate your mindset in thinking, the way you think, and understanding that this is not just about you, but this is about paving the way. Because if the people before us did not think like that, where would we be? So
And
I'm
I just want to, before we go, I just
sure.
want to again thank the Black Travel Summit Executive Board and the committee for naming me Travel Journalist of
Of
the
the
Year
year.
2020.
Yes.
It is a big, big honor for me. I honestly did not expect to win.
Oh,
Uh,
girl.
because the work that is being done outside is so competitive, and we know the state of the media currently right
Yeah.
now. So to
Yeah.
be able to be seen in all of my Caribbeanness, it's something that I will honestly, I wouldn't soon forget.
Absolutely. Congratulations again on all
Thank
of the achievement. It's well deserved. And thank you for being our final guest for She Speaks for
thank
2024.
you,
All the best in 2025, T. Take care, love.
thank
Mwah.
thank
All
you.
right. So there you have it, guys. Tenille Clarke. Have a good one, love. All right. So, guys, Tenille is just an amazing woman. Like you heard. I mean, she's just a powerhouse. And you know what? It's doable. It keeps reminding you her humility, her humbleness, and so much of the things that she's achieving is not just she just wake up and it just handed to her. She has been putting in some good work, and you see is understanding, like she said, looking at the big goal and not forgetting, staying focused on what the goal is, and definitely just not losing that focus and going after it and understanding that if it's written upon your divine, then it's this because it's got to be done, and the most High believes in you to get it done. All right, so that is our final show for 2024, and we'd like to take the opportunity to say thank you to all of our guests throughout this year. 2024 was an amazing year again. What, we about 4 years into our She Speaks show. No, it's more, man. Listen, I have to go and do my homework. I really have to go back. It's been so long, and we've had the privilege and the honor of having so many beautiful and amazing women being featured within this spot and this space. And I just want to say thank you to those of you who continue to answer the call, to share your story with the hope of inspiring. You are amazing. And of course, we've got to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to our partners. First National Bank, we appreciate you. Listen, we can't tell you enough how much we appreciate you understanding this vision, and not just understanding it, but going beyond the lip service and putting your backing behind it, because with your backing, you and Courts, Unicoma St. Lucia, you guys have continued to create this space where this magic can happen. And listen, words cannot express, so I think we'll go beyond words this time around. So maybe don't worry, I'll just leave it like that. But this is the word part of it, but we've got to go beyond that, because this is so vital, and this is so so wonderful that persons are understanding and supporting this. So again, to the First National Bank and to Courts, we appreciate you to the fullest. We appreciate you to the max. You understand? And we look forward to, resuming and continuing this amazing program in the brand new year again, God's willing, with your backing and your support. So we look forward to that. Now to the yes, the masterminds, and myself included as presenter, to Tamara Gibson and to Roy Ron Gibson, McNaughton McLean, who had this brilliant idea some years ago and has been on my back with this, and then he's finally brought it into Tammy, and they saw the vision, and it was the space was created, and it's blown into something really amazing now that I am so honored to be associated with. Because I get a little sentimental, because when I just started this show, it was just something, radio, you're just doing this thing. But the show has gone on. We have met so many people from all walks of life with so many different backgrounds, so many different stories that continues to resonate one way or the other. And to watch what this has been bloomed into is just remarkable, and I can't wait. I have a vision in my ears and eyes now, and I say to Tammy, we've got to take this bigger. We've got to go bigger with this. We've got to take this into TV. We've got to take this regionally. We've got to, not to take away from the St. Lucian part of it. We're still going to give the St. Lucian part their very own, but I think this now has gotten to a point where we need to spread this beyond the shores of St. Lucia and beyond just the radio waves. I think we need to take this to the next level. So let's see what the Most High has got in store, but certainly, thank you all again. Those of you who continues to view, those of you who continues to share, those of you who continue to make sure that every Tuesday around 10:30, you religiously come on and you're there, whether you don't say anything, but you listen and you pay attention. If you miss the show, you go back and you look at it, and you continue to be, you continue to be contributors to the success of it as well. And we appreciate every single one of you. So again, on behalf of Team She Speaks and our partners, thank you so very much.